it going, everybody? This is part 2 of the Q&A answer video. So if you didn't see your question or didn't hear your questions in the last video, they'll be in this one. So without further ado, let's jump into the rest of the Q&A answer video. Hope you enjoy. Greg Wagner wants to know, your son's getting older. Do you see him taking more of a role in the farm? Say feed, milk cows, clean stalls, etc. Thanks. Love the Q&As. Thank you, Greg. I know you were one of the guys that really wanted me to do the Q&As. I do. As he's getting older, he is doing some things, more things around the farm. I can send him to go get equipment for me, certain pieces of equipment, and he's really, really good at it. I showed him a TMR mixer the other day, and I said, if we build a freestall barn, are you going to be the one that feeds? And he seemed really, really excited about that, and you know, he wants to feed cows and do all that kind of stuff. When we were cleaning out freestall, the heifer freestall before, he's wanted to sit there with me and do the joystick and clean, and he's done a pretty good job. You know, he needs some more practice, but he's a young man and he'll get that practice, and I think he's going to do really, really good. Paul Rees or Rise? Like I said, I apologize everyone if I say your name wrong, but Paul, I'll just say Rise. Great video, Mike, as always. How many cows do you guys milk and your herds roll an average? We milk 50, the barn holds 50 cows. We've been around that 40 all winter, around 45, 46-ish, because we had a couple dry cows. And then, you know, as those cows, you know, calve, you know, we've had other ones to dry off. But the cows were doing great. In December, we probably made as much milk as we've ever made. And they were doing around 88. We got the herd average up to 88. Last month's test, they were, I hate to say down because it's still a pretty good number, but they were down to around 81. And when they were up to 88, we're thinking, great, we're making all this milk. That's awesome. But our butterfat wasn't up to where we thought it should be. It was a lot lower than we wanted it. We ship we're in DFA, and I'm able to go online and look at the reports and stuff like that, so I can see what our butterfat, protein, all that stuff is. There's a big reports data and everything, all that stuff's online, so I can look at that online. That's really great that they have that, so we were able to keep an eye on it. So I've been working really good with our nutritionist, and we've tinkered with a few things. She said, you might lose a few pounds, but your butterfat's going to go up, and that's what's happened. We've lost a little bit, and we've also had some cows that are really out there in days in milk and are really coming to the end of their lactation, and that really dropped that's what dropped our herd average down too. They needed to be dried off. Raven's one of them. She's been milking for a long time. We're gonna dry her off because she's due here in April. So so the butterfat is climbing back up, which is good, and so that's you know, the herd average is always kind of, you know, not all over the place, but it's constantly. I'm glad it's in the 80s and stuff like that. Or hopefully, once with the butterfat up, hopefully we can bring the average back up a little bit. Noel Holberger. I love how clean your cows looked. I always thought that was a big part in dairy farming. Absolutely. You know, you want your cows clean. You don't want them a big mess, especially you're in there working with them. So, I mean, if they're filthy, you're going to be filthy. And it's just the whole presentation of everything, you know? So, I appreciate that. We do. You always get some heifers that are going to find, especially when, you know, after it rains and something like that, they're always going to find a big mud puddle or something to, you know. But we got curry combs and brushes and all that kind of stuff. So if they get real bad, we can always curry comb them up and try to get them looking good. Greg Wagner, how many cows you milking these days? Have you added and subtracted the head count compared to the last few years? Thanks. Love the content and the videos. I mentioned the barn holds 50. We were around that 45 to 46. Like I said, going forward, hopefully we're able to. We haven't added as compared to the last couple of years. We've always been around there, but hopefully we're able to extend that number out a little bit as the years go on. Jason Canistra, 2598. Hey Mike, I was wondering how many heifers do you guys raise a year? Do you raise just enough for replacements, or do you raise extra to sell? Keep up the good work. It's nice to see a few of us small guys hanging in there actually doing well. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. We don't sell cows. We don't buy cows. We don't sell cows. All the cows that are on this farm right now were born on this farm. I can't remember the last time we bought a cow. Yeah, it's been a long time since we bought a cow. We raise our own replacements. We don't raise. We'll raise some beef cows. We'll have some of the cows bred to an Angus or black Angus or something like that. So we'll have a couple beef cows. But other than that, no, we don't sell any heifers or anything like that. We raise all our replacements. As far as doing well, I don't know. It's tough times for sure, but you know we're trying. That's all we can do really is we're trying. We're still going, so I guess that's doing well. And when I say I'm looking to expand too, when Jason says us small guys, we're still going to be the small guys. My buddy Brock milks 800 cows. I don't want to get to that size. I don't want to go to that size. I don't want to go above that or anything like that. I just don't have any intention. I want to keep this a family farm. Me and my dad, my son, my nephews, nieces, daughter, whatever, that, you know, family, brother. If my brother wanted to, you know, if we got a little bigger, my brother wanted to come back, I would love it. My brother's a great cow guy. I am better suited as a field and tractor guy. And, you know, I think we make a great team. So if he doesn't want to, that's not a problem. You know, it's his own thing. Gene Cronister, another great video. Stay safe. Thank you, Gene. Gene, I appreciate all the wonderful comments. You know, you're always, every video, wonderful comment. I really appreciate it, Gene. I want to thank you for that. Nick wants to know, am I going to the farm show in Syracuse this year? We plan on going Friday. Hope to see you there again. Nick, I do plan on going. So far, it looks like nice weather. I've been watching the extended forecast. I plan on going Friday. Friday are my days. I usually go out Friday, and sometimes I jump back Saturday. I don't know if we're doing the Saturday thing again this year, but definitely Friday is what I'm shooting for. My dad likes going up on the first day. That's fine with me. I like taking Friday, so that's my day. So hope to see you there. Definitely, if you guys are going to the farm show and you're there on Friday or even Saturday, if I decide to go to Saturday as well and you see me, definitely stop me and say hello. I really like it. I love it when people stop me and say hello. It's great, and say they love the channel and all that stuff. Some people ask for pictures. That's always wonderful. I've signed autographs for people before. That's always fun. So I just, yeah, you know, I really appreciate it. So I hope you see you up there, Nick, and stop me and say hello. Ian Hager, excellent idea. I didn't get the notification from YouTube for this video. Luckily, I looked. Stay safe. Well, I appreciate you looking, Ian. I don't know if it was just because it was such a short video or what, but usually in years past, the Q&A has had a lot more activity. I still got good activity on this one, but not as much as before. So I was wondering if it's something like you're saying, maybe you didn't get the notification. I don't know if it's something that has to do with being hacked not too long ago. I'm still a little gun shy when it comes to that, but you know, it's I appreciate you seeing and I appreciate you commenting. Tim Lawson says, I enjoy watching you on your farming journey. I appreciate that, Tim. Here's an interesting question. Connor, 4440. Would you ever consider getting a third self-unloading wagon? Absolutely. There's a ton of equipment I'd love to get. You know, I have a laundry list of tractors and equipment that I would love to get. The only thing is, it's just money. We're making two work right now, and when you make it work, priority, you know, we're trying to get all the hay equipment to the point where they're all fairly new, just because we're getting, you know, we have more hay acres than we've ever had. So, you know, you never know. I never thought we'd have a merger right now, and then all of a sudden, you know, the new salesman from Monroe shows up, hands me a flyer, and there's one right there, and wow, you can't beat this. As long as it's everything that it's advertised, you know, this is a really good deal. Maybe we come across that with the wagon, but like you said, I know some people are like, well, it's only like, you know, we like the H&S. The ones we really like are the H&S twin augers. We really like those wagons. Those are the ones we'd want to get. There's a bunch of them out there. I look at Tractor House all the time. There's a bunch of them out there. $7,000 to $10,000 for a 16-footer, kind of like the one we have now. but it's $7,000 to $10,000 here, $10,000 here, $10,000 here. It all adds up after a while. So, we'll see. Never say never. Tim Wilcox. Tim, let me just say before I read your comment, it was great meeting you at the Farming Sumbitch show. I appreciate the wonderful talk, and thank you for the salt block you gave me for the heifers. Hi, Mike. Does that feed cart mix your feed at all, or is just layered in? Also, what are the upcoming plans for the farm? We touched on expansion, Tim. The cart doesn't. It's just an apron chain with the beater, almost like a self-unloading wagon. I run the haylage and silage in, and it kind of mixes in the conveyor, and then it kind of mixes with the beaters as I'm feeding it out. It's not a perfect way of doing TMR by any means, or PMR, I would say, because we're not, TMR is total mix ration, and we're not mixing everything, and PMR is partial mix ration. Still like to get a mixer someday, and like I said, it's on the list. It's just there's so many things that it's like, okay, spend. You can't always just spend, so you gotta kind of pay some things off here and then spend, and pay some things off and then spend. Yeah, you guys know how it is. So here's an interesting question from Ryan Paquette. Any plans on adding another silo? No plans on adding another silo. I like the silos we have. I'm not an anti-silo guy by any means. But where the three silos are set up now, on the one side of them is the dry cow barn, and on the other side is the heifer barn. So I know we could put it somewhere else, but if I was to ever put up another silo, I'd kind of want them with the three that are up now. So we've talked about expansion. One of the things for expanding, how it works now, if you look at the three silos, the small one on the left is high moisture corn. The big one in the middle is for corn silage. And it's still a big one. The one in the middle is like 24 by 65, I think. And the other one's a 20 by 60. So what we would do is probably just use both silos, the two big ones for corn silage, and then what I would either do is just bag our haylage or just go all baleage, something like that. Like I said, we've thrown some things back and forth. I would just buy our own bagger and bag forages before building another silo. Craig Miller wants to know about the hay barn. I'm getting the tie stall barn, you're guessing. I'm always hoping and wanting that you guys will get it repainted at some point and preserve it. Any plans for that? So if we move out of the tie stall barn and go to a different type of facility, that barn's not just going to go away. That barn's not going to get torn down. That barn's going to get reutilized. And when we reutilize it, maybe we'll do something like that. Well, once again, things aren't free. So we could paint that barn and make it look a lot nicer. But all that's going to do for us right now is give us quite a hefty bill, and it's not going to turn around and make the cow's milk any better and make that money back. It's not going to turn around and make the hay quality any better. So I get what you're saying to preserve it, but right now it's not like it's rotting away and falling down. It's still a usable, functional space. So I get what you're saying. When we repurpose it for young heifers, maybe that's an avenue we go. Dembeck Farms wants to know, when are you stopping by for a beer? I know, at least we finally have had a beer. We've talked about this forever, and then finally you came up one time and we were able to have one, and we said, at some point I need to stop into your place. I really do. Yeah. I insert excuses here, Steve. One of these days, definitely. Randy Boltman wants to know, do you feed out your bull calves? We don't keep a lot of bull calves. We usually send them right out as we get them. We don't keep them too long. My dad, we don't keep any bulls on the farm. My dad was attacked by a bull when I was a little kid, so after that, no bulls. They go right out. VM Dairy wants to know, how do you market your milk? We're in DFA as a co-op, so they do a lot of the marketing and finding a buyer for the milk and all that stuff. You have to be in a co-op if you want to ship milk. There's no independence anymore. Morgana, another good subscriber who's always commenting, wants to know, are y'all registered Holstein herd, and who is your main AI bull stud? We used to be registered when I was a kid, and it slowly kind of went along the wayside there. Basically, no, our cows are grades. We're not selling cows, so there really was no point in it. It's not like they pay more for the milk if you're a registered herd. So, we just kind of got away from it. Our main AI bull, I'd have to look at the list to see who the main one is. Jeff from Select Sires was just here and said he had one that he was very confident would do good in our herd. And I hope I say your name right, Ryan. Ryan Lesperance? I know we really don't see your wife much, and I respect her privacy, but how do you meet? Was she born on a farm, or did you just sweet talk her into marrying a farmer? Thanks for the videos. And then Travis jumped in thinking that he was thinking the same thing. He wants to know how I met my wife. My wife did not grow up on the farm. We don't live too far from Binghamton. We're about 25 minutes away from the city of Binghamton, and that's where my wife grew up. That's where her mother lives, and that's where she grew up. Her grandma lived in a town just north of us called Oxford. It's a small ag town, and I guess they weren't married, but they were together. Her grandma and Grandpa Lou, he was a good guy. I used to like sitting there and talking to Lou, but they had a farm up in Oxford, and so my wife would go up there in the summers and visit and, get to stay with her grandma for a week at a time or 2 weeks or whatever and kind of be on the farm. So she didn't have any issues with coming to the country or anything like that. She liked the country lifestyle. I met her, it was a different year or a different time. We met on social media, a social media site, and you don't live too far, and we get talking, and we met up. I was working at the arena in Binghamton at the time. I was driving the Zamboni for an AHL hockey team. At the time it was the Binghamton Senators. They're not there anymore. They left, and then it became the Binghamton Devils, and I wasn't working there when it was the Devils. I went back to it when the Devils had left, and now it's the Binghamton Black Bears. They're I think they were an East Coast league. I'm trying to think of the league they were in, but so that's how we met. We kind of met through social media, and then we just which is how a lot of people meet anymore. So that's how I met her. Yeah, she doesn't really want to be on camera or anything like that. That's not really her thing. I've always told her, you're more than welcome to always be on camera if you want. She doesn't want to. She would choose not to have this part of things, and I don't push it on her. If someone doesn't want to be on camera, they don't have to be on camera. It's that simple. Jacob Newman wants to know, if you don't mind me asking, why'd your brother leave? Just he did it for 20 years, and I think it was just time for a change. It's nothing. It was nothing nefarious. He didn't leave on bad terms. We still, he still comes down on the weekends and brings his young boys down. But no, he didn't leave on bad terms or anything. That's not like there was a big blow up or there was a disagreement about things. He wanted to go another direction. And this is the 7-day-a-week lifestyle is not for everybody. And he, like I said, it's not like he just tried it and was like, this isn't for me. He did it for a lot of years, and he was a great cow guy. He was really good at breeding. He was really good at the hoof trimming. And I think me and him would make a really good team, because he could go off. When I say he was really good he could go off and do field work. But it wasn't really, like I said, his expertise was more in the barn, whereas, my expertise was more of the equipment and I just kicked some stuff over. The field work and the tractors, it's not like I'm a liability in the barn. I'm do good work in there too. So, I think we make a good team, and who knows, if someday, the farm gets a little bigger and he wants to come back, that'd be cool too. I like I said, I think we'd make a good team. If he doesn't want to come back, not a big deal. He has helped out when my grandfather passed away in funerals before. My dad always goes down with my mom to New Jersey, and me and my brother take care of things the day of the funeral. I usually did all the feeding while he milked. We got up even earlier so we could hit the road early and get down there. This year was no different. I think he was a little nervous though, because he's never really driven that silage car. I know he hasn't. He's never driven that silage car. So I remember he was kind of like, I said, why don't I do all the feeding and you just milk? And he was fine with that. So he came back, milked. He asked a couple questions about things, you know, because we had a different tank washer control that also runs the agitator on the milk tank. So he was like, well, can you kind of just show me this quick? And that was it. You know, everything else was like riding a bike. He picked up where he left off, and he's done a great job. So like I said, if he never comes back to farming, doesn't want anything to do with it anymore, God bless him. He's free to make that decision, and you know, he's got to do what makes himself and his family happy. Craig Miller had another question. He heard Andy on his channel talking about it. He had some parts and stuff that he was going to give me that he didn't need anymore. You're going up to his farm to pick them up and maybe get him on his video. We did go up and pick them up. I did not bring a camera. I have brought a camera in the past when I went up there to Andy's to get... the first time I met Andy, I brought my camera because I was in the middle of filming a video. I was going to look at a grain cart, and Andy said, go ahead, film whatever you want. And I just, it wasn't my farm. I didn't feel comfortable just turning my camera on and going around his shop, going around his farm. So I basically just filmed as I was leaving. So you can see the blue silo as I was leaving there and everything. I filmed when I went up and got the canopy for the 3010, and I was basically just kind of out in the shop and just outside the shop and everything like that. But, you know, kind of, and I asked him, like, hey, do you mind if I film this? You know, and he goes, I don't care, but still, it's something you should ask. I didn't bring my camera this time. Me and my dad went up. It was a great visit with Andy. It was freezing cold. The wind was blowing like crazy. Yeah, that was really nice of Andy to do. It's some good parts for the mower, the disc, the silo parts. A lot of stuff in there, as you can see in his video. He had a lot of stuff there, and I really appreciate that. That was really nice of him. Anthony Hanks, another good. He's out in Wisconsin, so usually when I post a video at night, Anthony's just kind of getting done from the barn, and he comes in and is able to watch. You're usually one of the first commenters. Your father is a Pioneer seed dealer. If he retires from that, are you interested in taking that on? Yeah, it is. And you have a question mark after Pioneer. Yeah, he's a Pioneer seed dealer. I don't know. If we expand the dairy a little bit, it's just going to be so much on my plate with that. I'm hoping if we expand the dairy a little bit and go with a different style of milking, if that kind of lightens up the labor a little bit, and that way it'll keep him going as a Pioneer seed dealer a little longer, as far as just getting worn down on the daily rigors of the farm. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something that I would do, if it's just like one more. I don't want to spread myself too thin. That's the thing. Just this year alone, I'm on a bunch of different boards and committees and stuff like that, and you know, obviously the farm comes first, and you know, I don't want to shorten. I truly enjoy making YouTube videos and doing YouTube, so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to spread myself so thin and so many and go in so many different directions that I'm not able to give the proper, you know, I don't want to do a half-ass job on something just because time crunch. You know, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right. So I don't know, we'll see what the future holds with that. That's a good question, Anthony. So that was part 2 of the Q&A answer video. Like I said, thank you guys so much for participating. It's always fun to kind of go back and forth like this, and it's a good way to, you know, it's a nice little communication thing between content creator and subscriber. So anyway, I want to thank everybody who participated. If you came to this late and you have other questions, let me know and we can do them in a future video. But until then, thumbs up if you like this video, drop me a question or comment below, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, thumbs up to you. I totally appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Have a good one, everybody.